What brought me to teaching as a career was really working in wilderness programs with youth at risk from gang-related backgrounds, and also working for an organization that supported homeless kids living in Guatemala. And it was really in those opportunities to engage with people that had stories quite different from my own that I realized that it was possible to develop quite amazing relationships with them, provided that those opportunities were actually taken. And so it was really there that I realized the transformative potential of education, and I've really pursued that ever since. In many ways, teaching isn't just about getting students to answer questions, it's getting them to question answers. And I think that that's best done through a process of scaffolding, and so I think that scaffolding is, if you think about scaffolding as something that sort of allows you to go to higher levels of a building, you can think about education in a similar sense, in that it isn't about telling students how they should think or what they should do, but it's about providing sort of that scaffolding that allows them to safely consider how things might be otherwise, how we might be able to make the world a better place in particular ways. And so it's in that transformative space that I think that meaningful change can happen, and that's what's really drawn me to tertiary education.
I think one of the things that makes Jay such a great teacher is, in fact, probably one of the things that would have made him a great social worker as well, is that the empathy that he brings to the teaching and learning relationship, that he engages with students as people, recognizing the kinds of qualities and experiences and dispositions that they bring to that learning relationship, and the way that he's able to help draw on those experiences and those dispositions, those knowledges that students bring with them to build towards learning goals.
Jay goes into every class with a strong respect and interest in the students. So he's one of the few teachers that I know that even if he has a class of 60 or 70 students, he tries his best to learn their names prior to the lecture starting, and is able to talk to them by their names in the first lecture. He is also someone who really demonstrates the word ako in principle in terms of the respect and the genuineness that he brings to his teaching. I think that, again, one of the things that is really important in teaching is the relationship that we develop with the students. And Jay has a warm, genuine, and interested way that he comes into his teaching that the students really respond to. And I think that that's one of the things that really makes him stand out.
I tell students, in terms of thinking about anti-discriminatory practice, that we can't just sort of attack people for having oppressive views. I mean, there might be times that we challenge them, but really, if we just attack people, that's only going to build further walls and create more barriers to having constructive conversations around concerns that we might have. And so, teaching is much the same way, as opposed to encouraging students to build those walls and to protect their views. It's about creating the safe spaces so that they can engage with those ideas that are actually really important for themselves, but also for the wider society.
He allows them to bring in their history, their stories, their perspectives. He recognizes the importance of that for kind of co-constructing learning experiences together, and it gives them a sense of being empowered in the process. So I think he really reflects that principle of reciprocity in the teaching and learning process.
If you look back at history where social justice has been achieved, whether that's local, regional, national, or even international, that oftentimes it's broken up into small steps. And I think that when students are able to recognize those small steps towards social justice, and they use that imagination, that's what helps them to move from what's known and familiar to what might be possible to know. And so, to me, success is when students actually do that scaffolding in supported and safe ways, and it takes them to new places. They effectively set sail.